What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical average American here today to react and learn about the most ridiculous questions that Brits get asked. You know, most Americans, we don't know all that much about British life and British culture, but we're curious. So, in the rare opportunity that we're actually face to face with a real live Brit, we get excited and we tend to, get curious and ask questions that can be kind of weird because we don't really know anything, but we're also unafraid to ask questions that might be kind of ridiculous, but it makes for good entertainment, which is exactly why we're here today to take a look at this Reddit discussion where somebody asked, what ridiculous questions do people ask you abroad as a Brit? When you are abroad in, say, America, are there any ridiculous questions that people ask you about Britain? I can absolutely only imagine the weird, ridiculous questions Brits get, especially in America. Because Americans, like, this is kind of the theme for this. Americans don't really know what's going on in Britain, but we're curious. So there's a lot of responses here in this thread about this question I want to take a look at. I was once asked by an American if I'd met the Queen when she was still alive. Okay. I responded, yes. I don't know why Americans think everyone has met the Queen. Like everyone in the UK has somehow had a private party with the Queen, or I guess maybe they could be asking if you were standing outside like Buckingham Palace or something and saw her. But to ask if you met the Queen, like what? Like not. That's such a funny question that Americans ask. Like I responded yes. I love that they said yes. Yes, I went to Buckingham Palace and had tea with her once. That is the best way to respond to this. Although it's also kind of mean because this poor American probably meant it. That's the thing, is that this question wasn't trying to be like snarky or like rude or anything. It was sincere, which is kind of embarrassing in a different way. They looked at me in amazement, as if they couldn't tell that I was joking. Right. Oh man, that's sad as well. That's a sad part, that British people know that that's just such a ridiculous thing to say. I went to Buckingham Palace. Yeah, we all do, and I had tea with the Queen. That's so obviously a joke to Brits, but not to Americans. That's, man, like I'm proud to say I would know that's a joke, but I'm a little like embarrassed to think that there's actually Americans out there that wouldn't know that's a joke. But I don't know. I don't think Americans really understand the relationship or that royalty has with like the government and people in the UK and stuff. And I guess Americans just think royalty is just like walking around at the grocery store or something. Although I did see a clip once of King Charles like out on a bike ride meeting with random people. So maybe you do have a chance to meet royalty like out in the real world. I guess it's possible. What else do we have here? Ridiculous questions that Brits get asked. Once an American guy asked me whereabouts in the UK I was from. Okay. Innocent enough, innocent enough. And knowing he wouldn't be familiar with my town or county, and wanting to be nice, I simply said, the south coast of England. Okay, okay. And he said, England has a coast? What? Oh my gosh. This is, the sad thing is I'm not that shocked because Americans are very, very bad at geography. And I know this because I am bad at geography. I've tried to go out of my way to learn some of this stuff, and at this point, I definitely understand like what the UK looks like and where everything that comprises it. So to me, this is ridiculous. And even like when I was a kid, like I knew that the UK was like islands and stuff, and like therefore a huge amount of coast. So I don't even think I can make an excuse for this American. I think this is just bad. This is just bad if you don't know that England has a coast. What is that? Like, man, how can you go through your whole life up to being an adult and not? You don't even have to learn about the UK and UK culture and geography. This is just something you should have picked up along the way. But we don't. And it's weird to me. Not just Americans, I was speaking with Germans who were telling me about how much more beautiful Germany is than the UK. Well, that's just rude. Um, you're just having a conversation with someone from another country, and you're just like, yeah, where I live is much more beautiful than this. What? What kind of weird? That's just weird and rude. Okay. At least the stories here with the Americans so far have been like very ignorant, but not necessarily. I don't think they are rude. It's just like really silly questions that Americans are somehow not embarrassed to say. What else do we have here? Ridiculous questions for Brits. I guess you guys don't have the technology for video calls yet, right? What? Okay, this this is like the first one that's this like kind of insulting, right? This is a middle-aged American woman about 2 months ago. Yes, she was serious. I guess you guys don't have the technology for video calls yet? Uh, I think this American just has some people in Britain that don't want to get on a video call with her. I think that's what happened. This American has some friends in Britain that were like, I'm sorry, I can't get on the call. We have not invented it yet here. You know how it is, you know. And she was just like, oh, okay. I don't know what the real reason is for this, but this is probably the worst one, actually. I don't know if it's worse to not know that England has a coast, like with a body of water, or to not know. Somehow this one's more insulting because it's like implying that Britain lives in the Dark Ages or something. Like you guys don't have video calls yet, right? What? What? Pure ignorance. I'm surprised she has a passport, unless you met her in America. Not even in America, so she must have had one. She had a passport? Wait, what? Wait, what? Was she in Britain? Like this is a rabbit hole here that we're going down. Uh she is in Britain and what? Like trying to make a video call and it failed and then she's just like, "Oh, Britain just must not have the technology." Like what? What kind of weird leap in logic is this? Oh boy, but nothing really surprises me that much anymore after reading a couple of these. Let's keep going. Oh my goodness. Ridiculous questions. Brits get asked. These are tough to even believe that there's people out there who ask stuff like this. Anyway, not ridiculous, but totally threw me. Someone in Borneo once asked me a load of questions about autumn. Questions about autumn. I had never thought about it before. But in the tropics, trees don't lose all their leaves at once. Oh, the idea of leafless trees for almost half the year was odd to them. Oh, okay. Yeah, that is. I've never thought about that ever in my life. That would be interesting. Okay, that's like genuine curiosity about a different part of the world. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Ugandans I spoke to had never heard of a snowman. Yeah, okay, okay. That's cool, actually. Okay, yeah, those are kind of more wholesome. Let's get back to the American asking stupid questions. Moved to the USA for a couple of years. Always asked if I knew the Queen. What is up with that? I can't. That one really irks me. Like, because it seems like so many Americans ask this, but to me, it's common sense to know that most British people haven't met the Queen personally. Maybe common sense isn't all that common, as they say. But this one person asked where I was from, and I said, near Nottingham. I said, N? Near Nottingham, Robin Hood. And he said, I was a liar, as Robin Hood is from Hollywood. What? Wait, what? I didn't know there was a Nottingham. Actually, in the UK. I didn't know there was a Nottingham. Yeah, like from Robin Hood. That's cool. Wait, I didn't know that. All right. Well, that's cool. Oh no. Am I sounding like the ignorant American here? Fair enough. I'm admitting that I'm learning something right now. Near Nottingham, Robin Hood. Okay, if I was told that, I'd be like, oh, okay, cool, great. This American says, you're a liar. Robin Hood is from Hollywood? What? Like, do they think Robin Hood lives in Hollywood? Or Robin Hood is a creation of Hollywood, like movies, and therefore Nottingham doesn't exist? I'm trying to get into the mind of fellow Americans who ask this question, and it's difficult. I'm just, I can't even let this go. The other part of this is the audacity of some people to be like, no, 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 you're lying about where you live. You don't know where you live. I know where you live. Robin Hood is from Hollywood. You're lying. You don't live there. It's like the audacity to tell someone that they don't know their own country is a special level of confidence. Ignorant confidence. That's how I like to put it. Ignorant confidence. Confidence when you don't understand the subject at all, but you're still going to just talk about it like you do know. Oh boy, I'm in Wiltshire, and now I just say I live near Stonehenge. They don't actually know where that is, but it lets them nod in understanding. See, that's what I would do. At worst, if I was a silly American, I didn't know something, well, I would just ask for clarification. But most Americans, if they have an ego and don't want to ask, just nod. Be like, okay, yeah, you live in Nottingham, cool. Don't have to, like, the willingness to start conflict over it and be like, no, you're wrong, is such an American thing. I don't like seeing that, for sure. What else do we have here? In Burma, I had a kid asking me what the general feeling among the population after Wayne Rooney had a hair transplant. What? What? I don't understand this reference. The general feeling among the population after Wayne Rooney had a hair transplant? Who is Wayne Rooney? I have to look this up. Okay, Wayne Rooney is an English soccer manager? 38, looks like he was a former player. I actually think I recognize him. He had a hair transplant. Okay. He's a football player. He's a football player who's now a coach. And got a hair transplant? What's the general feeling among the population after Wayne Rooney had a hair transplant? Good for him? Like, what? Did it make them win more games? I don't get it. I love this idea. I love the idea this kid sincerely believes this was a huge, ongoing talking point for the people of the UK. That's beautiful. Yeah. What? I like this too. Well, I guess this was not a huge controversy talking point in the UK. What a random question. Okay, interesting. What else do we have? Oh, here's an American. An American once asked me what language we spoke in England. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man. Is this the new worst one? There's been a couple questions here that ridiculous doesn't quite cover it. Like, these are ridiculous questions, but they're just like ignorant, strange questions. Embarrassing. Like, oh, what language do you speak in England? It's in the name. England. It's in the name. Oh man. Oh, I will never underestimate again the ability of Americans to come up with questions, to ask questions that they should know the answer to. But hey, again, this isn't like a offensive question, unless you're offended that the American is that sort of ignorant and dumb. This is just like you know, something they should know. But hey, they have to learn it at some point, so why not tell them the truth? And then they'll be like, okay, it's English. Oh, English in England. Okay, that makes sense. And they'll thank you. Oh my God, that might be one of the most ridiculous ones. What language do they speak in England? I've never heard that one before. Okay, okay, let's keep going. I was asked if we have cell phones in England. What is with what is with people asking, is there's no voice calls in Britain. There's no cell phones in England. Do Americans just think like the UK is living over in the dark ages, like they're 1,000 years in the past? Like what? I don't get it. Do we have cell phones in England? In 2014, they said this. And someone replied to me saying I was from England with, oh, you guys have the Eiffel Tower, right? Oh, oh, oh. Both Americans, of course. Of course. That's sad, because we're literally taught as little American children in school. Like, oh, France, Eiffel Tower. Like, that's a fun fact we learn. They should know that one. They should know that one. I'm more shocked. I'm more shocked they don't know where the Eiffel Tower is than they don't know if cell phones is in England. Because we're taught about the Eiffel Tower. Uh, and and somehow not knowing that there's cell phones in England is so ridiculous that it somehow fits right in with what an American would ask. I lived in America for a bit, and strangers would often respond to finding out I was English by saying, "Top of the morning to you." Yeah, exactly how I said it, in an exaggerated fake Irish accent, which I always found odd. Oh, Americans love doing this. Top of the morning to you. It kind of gets me amped up in a way, juiced up. This is like, for some reason, a stereotype Americans have of Irish, and Irish accent, and how Irish speak. This phrase, "top of the morning to you." The fact they said it, the fact that they said it to you when they found out you were English is insulting. Like, that's just like totally misrepresenting what the cultures are and where you're from and how you speak, and it's insulting to English and Irish at the same time somehow, which I always found odd. That is odd, but I've heard people do that. Like, that is something Americans unfortunately enjoy doing when impersonating an Irish accent. Yes. Yes. Oh, but to do it to an English person, oh God. Oh God. All right, let's take a look here. The most common I have heard from Americans is, have you seen a castle? Okay. I'm really happy to get to something like this. This is sort of ridiculous, I guess, but as an American, I totally understand. I would be curious. I might ask this question because it's like we don't have castles, and I want to know if you've been to or seen a castle, because there's castles in the UK. Now this is very different from asking, have you met the Queen? What? That's ridiculous. This is like, I think this is okay. To be fair, I don't judge them for it. Castles are pretty cool, especially if you've never seen one. Yes, and here in America, none of us have seen one. So it's really cool. And okay, this question is like, I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. On a more negative side, I have been told to speak English by an American, despite only one of us being English. Wait, what? being told to speak English. Guess it's just too confusing that we might say slightly different things for the same object. Oh, like this American was getting mad that you were saying like trousers instead of pants or something like that. That is, oh my god. And they said, speak English. Oh my god. That is not okay. That's extremely rude. Wow. That is a negative one for sure. Oh my god. That's one of the worst ones so far as well. Um, because that is really, really rude. I kind of enjoy ranking these as I went along, ranking them on how bad I think they are, how ridiculous they are on the spectrum. And we had a whole variety of questions here, mostly from Americans, not too surprisingly. Ri- Ridiculous questions that Brits have actually been asked. I was a little nervous to take a look at this because I know we are capable of saying some pretty crazy stuff, but this was also really kind of entertaining in a way as well. So I enjoyed it for that reason. Anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment, perhaps with the most ridiculous thing an American has ever said to you or that you've heard. That'd be very funny to hear about. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Britain and British culture, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching and see you next time.